to register our apologies for starting a little late, but of course it was not without a reason. And we tend to be very brief. We prepare the text for you. You will pick the details from there. I'll straight away proceed to read the statement for and on behalf of all my colleagues who have assembled here this morning. You recall on the 19th day of last month, we assembled at this very place. We had a delegates conference and we were assigned with a twofold task. One, to pursue the process of dissolving the FDC. Two, to cause registration of a new political entity. Today we do not intend to address you on the process of dissolution, but all we are telling you, it's on course, it's ongoing. You are aware the notice was issued, and the team in charge of the same are working around the clock to ensure that we meet the deadline of 6 months. But specifically, today's presser is about the registration process of the People's Front for Freedom. And this is the statement. Article 29(1)(e) and 38 of the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda guarantee the inherent freedom of all Ugandans to freely associate and form or join associations, which entirely includes political parties and other civic organizations, and generally participate in the governance and public policy matters or affairs of their country. This fundamental right is further reinforced by the provisions of Article 72, Clause 1 and Clause 2, which state as follows. Every person has got a right to form a political party or other organizations. That is the right which is created under Article 72, Clause 1 and Clause 2. Every person has got a right to form a political party and other political organizations. B, an organization shall not operate as a political party or organization unless it conforms to the principles laid down in the Constitution and it is registered. The procedure for registration of political parties is well stipulated under sections 6 and 7 of the Political Parties and Organizations Act as amended. The process involves filing an application with the Electoral Commission accompanied by 2 copies of the political party constitution, list of full names and addresses of 50 members for the political party from each of at least 2/3 of all districts in the country, a full description of identifying symbols, slogans, and colors of the political party organization, if any, underlying that, if any. You may register a political party without colors or symbols. And obviously the last requirement is registration fees. It's important to note that individuals desirous of registering a political party are required to pick forms from the offices of the Electoral Commission generated under Section 72, subsection 2, as well as the 3rd schedule of the Political Parties and Organizations Act 2005 was amended. Relatedly, the Electoral Commission introduced the practice of reserving names as generally done with the registration of corporate companies. If I may pause here and explain. 1, the process of registration is triggered by filing an application with the Electoral Commission under Section 6 and Section 7 of the Political Parties and Organizations Act. That is the initial process, but there are prerequisites to registration. The preliminaries involve picking forms from the offices of the Electoral Commission and also causing reservation of the name, which is also practice that was introduced by the Electoral Commission for purposes of registration. So the process is two segmented. One, they are preliminary processes. There are those preliminary processes, the pre-registration processes, that is picking the form from the EC under subsection 2 or section 7 of the Political Parties and Organizations Act. That is picking the form to reservation of the name. Those are pre-registration processes. On the 27th D, now we are taking you to the events. What has been happening? On the 27th D of August 2024, a delegation of 12 leaders from Katonga embarked on the preliminary process of causing registration of the People's Front for Freedom, whereof they approached the offices of the Electoral Commission for purposes of reserving the name for registration of the said entity and also picked the requisite forms. 27th of last month, 27th August. That's when this delegation appeared before the Electoral Commission. The purpose of the visit, reserve the name and pick forms. They carried along with them the following, a document which had the following attributes of the party and the paraphernalia. The name of the party, People's Front for Freedom. Color, white and royal blue. Symbol, fawn. Slogan, freedom for all for freedom. Freedom for all for freedom. All for freedom, freedom for all. That is the slogan that was taken there. The particulars of the delegates or subscribers, call them promoters, were as follows. Number 1, Honorable Wafro Good, and the Nini number is there, together with his contact. Honorable Jock P. Bilal, with all his particulars. Honorable Odman Albert Charles Okero, full particulars there. Mr. Stanley Katembeya, Tugume. Miss Basma Sarah Sengendo. Miss Nanyonjo Susan. Mr. Wanda Ronald Samuel. Miss Kamatenet Ingrid Tulinawe. Mr. Opoka Kenneth Joffrey. Miss Nakasoria Jane Lubega. Miss Kunihira Proskovia, and Mrs. Mustes Anne-Marie, with all their particulars. And some of the subscribers or promoters are with me here at this press conference. Surprisingly, the Electoral Commission officials declined to issue them with their aforesaid registration forms on such spurious grounds that they needed to first verify their aforesaid particulars. Mark you, it's not a requirement at that stage for those particulars to even be submitted or let alone be verified. It's not a requirement, because you are not filing the application for registration. You are seeking to reserve the name and pick the forms for purposes of collecting the signatures and preparing the constitution, at which stage, when you are filing, is when you submit all those requirements. On the 4th day of September 2024, the Electoral Commission issued a rather disturbing communication to the effect that the promoters of PFF had not complied with the provisions of Section 7, subsection 1C, as well as Section 8 of the Political Parties and Organizations Act 2005 as amended. They paradoxically stated that, much as the application for reservation specified the name, colors, symbol, and slogan, the same lacked material particulars of full description. How ridiculous can they be? They further contend that the name People's Front for Freedom closely resembles an already reserved political party name, People Power Front, PPF, and the colors are similar to those of the Forum for Democratic Change. In a response dated 9th September 2024, the promoters made a strong rebuttal to the said contentions and explained each and every issue in succinct terms. It's quite baffling that to date, the Electoral Commission has not considered it necessary to communicate the position of the law on the matter in light of the aforesaid rebuttal, or better still, accord the promoters a right to a fair hearing by way of physical interface with the Commission over the said matters. Here our contention is two-segmented, twofold. One, once a rebuttal was made on 9th of this month, a week later, the Electoral Commission has not favored us with a response on the position taken. Today is 16th. It was taken on 19th, the rebuttal. A week down the road, no response, no decision made. They are just quiet, totally quiet. They have not said anything after rebuttal was made. That is one. The second concern here, before the impanned letter was issued by the Electoral Commission, they ought to have at least summoned the promoters to accord them a right to a fair hearing. Please appear before the EC and substantiate your application to reserve the name and move the Commission to issue with the forms. In other words, they ought to have put, maybe if they were in doubt, they ought to have put the promoters to task. First of all, to answer all these questions, but also to show cause why they should be issued with the form, if at all it was necessary. And to us, we are saying it is absolutely not required under the law for the EC to raise any issue. Once you appear there and ask for a form under subsection 2 of section 7 of the Political Parties and Organizations Act, you show up before the EC like, here I am a Ugandan, I'm a citizen, I'm of majority age, I have a right under Article 29 to form a political party, and under Article 72 of the same Constitution, they are obliged to issue with a notice, with a form rather, with a form. Now, they indulged in that kind of ping-pong, which we shall explain later here. Be that as it may, we need to restate our position as follows. Number one, reservation of a name before registration is desirous but not mandatory. There is no provision in the Political Parties and Organization Act that makes it a requirement for a person desirous of registering a political party to reserve the name. But it's a well-accepted practice and corporate practice. If you want to register a corporate entity, like under the company's law, it's a good practice to reserve the name. And generally, we have no objection to that because it's a practice, but it shouldn't be used as an encumbrance, as an obstacle. That once you have not reserved the name, then it becomes a problem. Let me tell you, the reason for reservation of the name is for purposes of guarding yourself, not to indulge in a process without notifying the EC that you have started on the process. Along the way, after collecting the signatures and gathering all the necessary requirements, you appear before the EC and tell you, by the way, there's been somebody else who has also pursuing a similar process, registering the very, very political party you want to register here. That would be so injurious to you, having indulged in that kind of futile exercise. So it's the reason there is that practice of reservation of names, so that you move in a harmonized manner. You act on an informed point. You start on from an informed position that, look, this is what is existing. But it's not a clog on the process of registration. In this case, the Electoral Commission is saying, for you even to reserve the name or even get forms to start the process of registration, you need to first bring the color, the logo, the symbol, the slogan. Maybe they also want the constitution at that stage to be furnished, which sounds quite gibberish. 2, the Electoral Commission is obliged to issue registration forms to any citizen desirous of registering a political party, and withholding of the same amounts to egregious violation of the Constitution and other relevant laws. It's a public body, we need not to mention this. They have a duty under the law to issue forms to whoever seeks for the same. They cannot block anybody from picking forms which they have processed there. It's like picking nomination forms. You go to pick nomination forms and they stop you. That first proof that you are going to win. 3, notwithstanding the fact that the promoters furnished the Electoral Commission with the full particulars of the name, colors, symbols, and slogan, it shouldn't be taken as a mandatory requirement by the Electoral Commission for those particulars or description to be provided at this preliminary stage. For clarity purposes, those particulars, together with the Constitution, are only required to be filed when returning the forms with the signatures of all the subscribers and all those supporters you've gathered from the districts as required under the law. I think that's the point I've been emphasizing. That is number 1, 2, 3. Number 4, the allegation of similarity in colors with those of the Forum for Democratic Change is neither here nor there, since royal blue, the promoters are seeking to reserve, is absolutely distinct from sky blue registered by the FDC. You would also wish to know that the framers of the Political Parties and Organizations Act did not purport to create an absurd situation where a primary color could be exclusively patented by a single political party. We seek to be challenged on this. No single political party can register a primary color and patent it as its own. That is not there in law. If that were to be the case, there would be only 3 political parties to rhyme with the 3 primary colors under the color symmetry, namely red, blue, and green. Let me tell you this, we want to emphasize this. There are only 3 primary colors: red, blue, and green. Those are the original primary, the rest are secondary colors. So look at that absurd that would be created. Today we have over 40 political parties registered. So if each primary color belonged to a particular political party, if a political party had monopoly over a primary color, then we would have only 3 political parties. Would that be the intention of the framers of the Political Parties and Organizations Act? Oh, the progenitors of our Constitution 1995? Was that the spirit behind the law? Certainly no. So, it's the reason you have varied shades of red being registered by different political parties. You would find NOP with some shade of red. You would find UPC with a shade of red, and many, many others, as we shall explain here. You would also wish to know yes, for emphasis sake, color blue has got different hues or shades to wit: ocean blue, midnight blue, sky blue, royal blue, cadet blue, celeste blue, aqua blue, light turquoise blue, police strobe blue, azure blue, navy blue, air force blue, etc. It would be absolutely hogwash for one to suggest that FDC patented all the shades and hues of blue. That would amount to insanity. For the record, these are the different shades, some of the different shades of blue. There are more. Those which have been mentioned here, with their names here. They can show